Okay, let's begin, shall we? I need to start with something light. All right, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That's light? Yeah. Yes, actually. Yes. Ready for these, quote, I hate these loud, annoying gays making us normal gays look bad. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, let's go.
Oh boy, here we go. This will get people wild and out.
Pride Month is almost over. Thank God, because if I see another rainbow flag on my feed, I might buy a pack of Skittles and start slingshotting them at my screen.
No, 50-50, man.
My distaste may come as a surprise to some people, considering I'm actually a part of the LGBT community. In case you haven't noticed from my endless
Why did he say that? Nice.
references to titties and busty Latinas in the past 10 videos. I like hot chicks. This is not a coming out video. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I don't need a rainbow flag and a teary-eyed video confessing the fact that I like big butts and I cannot lie, but it may be interesting to hear.
This commentary is so good. Do you see why I'm addicted, guys? Do you see why I'm addicted? Yeah. Oh, I get it. Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. I also, I'm the same. Yeah. Busty Tinas. Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
That I'm actually extremely ashamed to be a part of this community. And look, I know we've come a long way. There was
dude, girly pop, stop. 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 I used to follow Asmongold when he was playing WoW and doing stuff, but I've since stopped since his right-wing pivot. I don't understand why. It sucks because he's so entertaining, unintentionally. So entertaining. I don't understand why. I assume it's like some part of it was real, similar to Tim Pool. Some part of it was real, and then he got a lot of positive feedback, being like, "I'm just a normal guy. This is a normal guy. This is just what normal guys think." And he got so much positive reinforcement. He's like, "I must be doing something right." Pogo Blues, thank you so much for the 18 months.
Period of time when anyone who wasn't heterosexual was scrutinized or in severe cases even killed. And as glad as
that's true, because like a lot of people might forget that back in the day, people would even get like kind of lose sponsorships and stuff like that for talking about or like getting involved with anything that's gay. And
what? Huh? You guys are getting paid to be gay? What? Where's my money? What the fuck? Give me my fucking money, dude. What?
And instead of it being political correctness, it was family values. That was the term. That was the 2000s and the 1990s version of political correctness was family values.
And that I can walk down the
I'm cooked. I'm cooked. We gotta go back. I misunderstood this. I must have. 1 second.
Even get like kind of lose sponsorships and stuff like that for talking about or like getting involved with anything that's gay. And instead of it being like that,
no. I don't need a rainbow flag and a teary-eyed video confessing the fact that I like big butts and I cannot lie, but it may be interesting to hear that I'm actually extremely ashamed to be a part of this community. And look, I know we've come a long way. There was a period of time when anyone who wasn't heterosexual was scrutinized or in severe cases even killed. And as glad as
that's true, because like a lot of people might forget that back in the day, people would even get like kind of lose sponsorships and stuff like that for talking about or like getting involved with anything that's gay. And instead of it being political correctness, it was family values. That was the term. That was the 2000s and the 1990s version of political correctness was family values.
And that I can walk down the street holding a girl's hand and not face the scrutiny.
What? You saying streamers were losing sponsors for getting involved with LGBTQIA issues? Oh.
This was the 2000s and the 1990s version of political correctness was correctness. It was family values. Anything would even get like kind of lose sponsorships and stuff like that.
Oh. Oh, I thought he was saying get loose sponsorships. He was saying get, and then he crossed it
I
out.
think he's smoking the mold at this point.
Yo, is this shit laced? Laced with mold? You roaches really know how to roll one. End it over. He was saying lose sponsorships. He was saying lose sponsorships. Because it was all about family? Okay, all right.
That for talking about or like getting involved with anything that's gay. And instead of it being political correctness, it was family values. That was the term. That was the 2000s and the 1990s version of political correctness was family values.
And that I can walk down the street holding a girl's hand and not face the scrutiny. I also feel like we've passed the point of acceptance and are now at the point of blatant indoctrination. Someone has to say it. These
Ooh, you want to be gay so bad. You want to be gay so bad. Oh, you love sucking cock. I love the way these people talk about indoctrination. Let's see the proof. Let's see that the proof is in the pudding. Let's look at the pudding.
pride parades have gotten disgusting. It's not even about acceptance anymore. It's a provocative and aggressive public display of hypersexuality and fetish. What was supposed
I agree with this. I don't think you should be able to do this out in public because this is a public place and there's children present. And so like this basically, I mean, this is a sexual fetish, and going around like this is you're doing this for gratification. So if you're doing this in a public place and there are children present, I don't really think this is good.
That's just Hollywood, yeah.
Good for society. And I also think that like, I think most like reasonable people see that. And I think it also alienates a lot of other like kind of like middle of the road type people.
I want to let him finish his point because I have a lot of things to talk about here that are totally like a lot of the things that he's saying are totally incorrect.
Like not people that are like
he is right about it being a public space. No, we'll get into it. I want to let him finish.
Homophobic, but people that are like maybe it's like, oh well, I like somebody that would be sad if their kid was gay, but they don't have a problem with gay people, right? So like they're a little bit kind of in the middle, and so they have a little bit of discomfort. This like pushes them towards like homophobia. I think so. I think it does it for a pretty
No. No. This is always my excuse me. This is always my favorite line of attack that centrists use. Oh my god, I just hate that you're making me bigoted. I hate that looking at you being yourself is it's just making me so bigoted. Your existence is increasing my particles. That's just on you, man. I don't know what to tell you. No, man, that's not how that works, but okay.
obvious reason, right? It's because people that can't consent, young kids, are involved with this. Very problematic. Being like this is being themselves. Well, you can be yourself however you want, but when you go out in the public, you no longer can just be yourself. If everybody was themselves in public, everybody would be shitting on the street, but we don't.
Self-report. Listen, Asmongold, I don't think that you or your experiences are universal, okay? I think most people would not just start shitting in public. Personally, I don't think so. Most people don't shit where they eat. I guess you wouldn't be eating in the streets unless you belong to the streets, but most people don't just act like animals. I am not bound by social contract. And that's why I'm not shitting in the street. I'm not shitting in the street because that's insane, dude. That's weird. That's insane, dude. I feel like toilets already work fine.
Do that because there's a amount of behavior that's expected.
Supposed to be an accepting and innocent space has turned into a hostile freak show. I didn't go to Pride, never will, unless it's to document the absurdity of it. But this
Never been to Pride. Has a lot of opinions about Pride that she's never been to.
This is what LGBT is associated with now. It's no longer.
Yeah, I do think also like people with these like.
Oh, we're back. Are we back? My mic isn't working. Sorry, let me let this video play a little bit more. Let me.
Content that's made and for the consumption for the purpose of sexual gratification, you should not be able to do this in public. Just straight up, because if you can, then there is like a probability that like an underage person could be in that photo. And so, or in that video. So like now you're in a world where you have people that are filming content for sexual gratification in which people that are underage are involved in the video. You see what I'm saying? That should never happen. And also, like, again, you have to ask the question, like, why should it happen? Why should society allow that type of behavior to happen? Then spring break would be illegal? No, I think wearing a bikini or something like that at the beach is totally different. Like, that's completely fine. And also, like, a bikini is not inherently sexual in the same way that a BDSM suit is. Like,
I'm so mad. I want to talk, but I know it's using my shitty microphone. It's using my microphone from my earbuds. And I'm trying desperately to fix it, but I don't know why it's not working. Why my microphone isn't showing up. But I have so many things I want to say. How bad is the quality? Xbox? No.
I understand that there's a lot of people that really try to muddy the waters with this kind of stuff. It's a fake gotcha. Yeah, it's a fake gotcha. Like, wearing a bikini is what people wear if they're female, if they go out to a, you know, like basically like any place with water. Now, this is not inherently sexual. It is sexualized in many cases, but it is not done for the purpose of sexual gratification. Whereas when you look at people that are wearing bondage, for example, in public, that is done for the explicit purpose of sexual gratification. So I understand that there's a lot of intellectual dishonesty with this topic, but I think that if you really cut through that and you look at what really the impulse is behind these actions, it becomes immediately evident what the actual problem is. It's about the intent. It is. It's about the intent.
Associated with peace, love, unity, and tolerance.
Yeah.
Instead, it's associated with hypersexualization, provocation, fetish, and bigotry. I don't know what happens to the days when we would encourage people to accept themselves and make peace with those who disagree with us. Because now we just scream obscenities at anyone even whispering a subtle argument.
This is the problem, right? Is that a lot of people that have my perspective on it are considered to be like, you know, like, let's say like closet homophobic or something like that, right? Or like, oh, this is like against LGBT people. I don't think that I think that the majority of people don't really care whether you're gay or not. But when you try to make everybody else look at it and you do a pride parade about it, I think that that's a very big difference. And especially when I think that, again, it's coming into, it's not just about being gay. It's about people that want to showcase their types of fetishes. And I think that's really where the problem is. It's beyond just simply having a sexual attraction to another person, and it's about using that as like a platform to like talk about other things beyond that. It's an exposition. Yeah, it's an exposition. Were they trans? I have no idea. It doesn't really matter. Pride Day was okay, then it became a week, now it's a damn month. And if you agree with them, and make you agree with them and not being able to disagree. Yeah, it's very hard to speak out against this because of how much
Guys.
like control people like this have over the narrative. Sexual deviants riding the LGBTQ movement. I unironically think that's what's happening. And I think that, like, you already saw that with, like, MAPS, right? Minor attracted persons. And I think that you see this with a lot of other types of things that are adjacent to that, where it's people that have, like, these really kind of questionable, like, sexual deviancies that are trying to, like, hitch their cart to the LGBT wagon and then normalize their type of behavior.
Has managed to weaponize its own labels and use them unfairly, not hesitating to label any opposition as transphobic or homophobic.
Okay. All right. I got my backup mic. How bad how bad and crunchy do we sound? Not the Yeti, dude. I tried unplugging the mixer, it wasn't working. It's quiet, but it's good. Okay, one sec. Mayor Cat. I know you need attention right now. I'm aware. Get some stuff in your eye, Mayor Cat. All right. Maybe a little bit closer. The volume is already on max. Major. Get a little. Whoa. Okay. He didn't like that. Are we good? Are we okay? Is this better? I could try holding it. Volume is fine? Okay. All right. Okay. Dude, all right. Please, I need to talk about this. Have we quantum leaped to 2013 with regard to this video or my microphone? Let's talk about a couple things. One, it is ridiculous to bring up children being affected by people wearing whatever the fuck that they were wearing in that picture. And here, I will give it to them. If they want to say that it is explicitly sexual in nature, sure, let's go for it. Let's say that it's explicitly sexual in nature. The problem is, one, you then have to prove that someone is being harmed by something in a way that is meaningful, right? There are a lot of sexual innuendos that straight people have in society all over the place, everywhere, but we don't think that they harm children. Most notably, I'd like to bring up the fact that at all hours of the day, if you grew up in the early 2000s, there were advertisements on the television of women deep-throating hot dogs. There is sexuality and sexual behavior and sexual themes that children are exposed to all the time. But people like Asmongold never see that stuff or see the Hardee's commercials or see whatever, the Burger King commercials or the Axe commercials and say, whoa, this is totally inappropriate for children to see. Even though they played right after fucking Nickelodeon cartoons. There is a distinctive... He's also against those that he's explicitly said it. If he's explicitly said it, okay, sure. Then I will give it to him that he's at least consistent on that, right? But for the longest time, I think it's my personal opinion. I think that a lot of it is purity culture in America, and Americans are really uncomfortable at just like the thought of sex or the thought of nudity. Like, it's very concerning how scared of these things Americans are. Also, yeah, calling bikinis not sexual, it's so silly. Whatever. I get the point that he was trying to make, which is someone wearing a bikini to go swim isn't necessarily doing it to invoke sexual imagery. Someone wearing whatever they were wearing, I don't even know what you would call it, because that doesn't even really look like BDSM gear, but whatever you would call it, walking around, still not doing anything sexual. The problem is, for the child perceiving it, they look exactly the same. A guy wearing a Speedo that's giving him the craziest wedgie and wearing just a Speedo, or women wearing thongs at the beach, looks identical to a child as like a kid wearing like a leather shorts or like leather assless chaps and like a collar. These look exactly the same to a child. They cannot make a distinction. And in order for there to be harm occurring, you have to prove where the harm is occurring, right? Now, if any of these people are doing sexual things in front of children, yeah, sure. Sure, go for it. They literally have Sports Illustrated swimsuit editions. I mean, yeah. But the problem is his explanation on like the harm occurring was that like a kid might be in a picture where someone is wearing, I don't know, like a gimp suit. And then now this kid is in a picture with someone who's clothed. I don't understand. Genuinely, I literally don't understand what's happening here. I don't understand where that harm has occurred. He also ignores how the children get to the parade. Like, they didn't just teleport out of the blue. Yeah. Now, I think generally more important, because I feel like in my experience, maybe you guys can relate, a lot of right-wingers don't understand that you can't just point at something that is happening that you know might have sexual undertones and then say this is causing harm. And a lot of right-wingers will see that and be like, no, it's obviously causing harm. Come on, this is common sense. There's a guy wearing a collar and a thong in a pride parade. This is obviously causing harm. This is common sense. To which I will say, whatever, sure. Let's just pretend like that's true. It's not true, and I would love to see the actual harm that's happening, but let's just say that it's true, whatever. These pride parades require city blocks for permission. Like, they require the state to give them permission to use these city blocks. Okay? Parades, all the information regarding parades is approved by the city. All of the parades that will be in your city, okay, generally speaking, they're publicly available information. Like, when I was in New York, actually, even here in LA, I can just look up parades. Because they've all been approved by the city. You don't just go and have a spontaneous parade. You have to get permission from the city to take over X amount of streets. Do you think children are just like walking into these parades? Do you think that there are like these like flash parades? Like the gays just show up and they're like, let's go parade time. Like what? No, this is not happening. This is just not happening. I'm sorry, it's not happening. This is the same reason why I see the people that, sorry, going back for a second about sexual themes being inherently traumatic to children if they have to see them. Did you guys see most recently on Twitter, there was like people getting mad because vibrators are sold in Target? And they were like, this is disgusting. How could you do this? I don't want to go to the Target and see a vibrator in a box. And it's like the most tame ones. Like, it's literally so tame. They look like just massage devices. My children are being harmed by seeing this colorful piece of plastic that they don't understand. Unbelievable. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking? Dude, I promise you, a child is not going to get traumatized because they saw a vibrator once, okay? That's not going to happen. I don't know how to tell you that. They're way more likely to get traumatized because you keep screaming at them when they don't understand something, all right? And they're right next to the condoms and lube. It's just so stupid. Oh my God. Yes, Ponyo, correct. Moving on. They sell condoms in stores. Kids are going to get traumatized, okay? What if they find out that condoms are used for sex? What do you think the kids will do? They'll just explode, dude. They're going to have trauma like never before. Moving on. One other very important thing that happens here, and this is obvious because she admitted that she's never been to a pride parade and doesn't want to be to one, or doesn't want to go to one. The vast majority of pride parades are like Raytheon banner ads. Okay? Where basically everyone is fully clothed and we're just advertising corpos that kill brown people. That's it. That's the majority of pride parades. And there are a few adult pride parades that the city has explicitly listed as an adult parade that usually happens towards the evening of the day, where parents should know, oh, this is an adult parade. Okay, I'm not going to go to this. I'm not going to go to this with my kid. At most, it's like twerking and kissing. Yeah, it's like fucking it's not anything crazier than what already happens at like beaches or whatever. Progressive auto insurance, rainbow bumper sticker, flea market. Oh God. Oh God, what is this, Trumo? We'll look at this in a second. Oh God. Anyways, also the first Pride was a riot. Yeah. Pride Parade at this point is more of a celebration of what Pride has gotten us, us being the queer community. And it's a celebration that the first Pride parades were riots to try and get people more rights. Shocker, I know, crazy. And it's a celebration of that thing. This would be like saying, oh, you know what? All of you guys, you need to stop celebrating Thanksgiving because you're not even thankful for things. It's like, I mean, sure, I guess, but like it's kind of now at this point just like a custom for this thing that brings people together. Right? In the same way, Pride parades are just this thing that bring people together, usually the queer community, to celebrate something, which is, in this case, the original Prides. The original Pride parades, which were riots. Anyways. Moving on. I had to pause because I couldn't handle this.
Already saw that with like maps, right? Minor attracted persons. And I think that you see this with a lot of other types of things that are adjacent to that, where it's people that have like these really kind of questionable like sexual deviancies that are trying to like hitch their cart to the LGBT wagon and then normalize their type of behavior.
He has managed
What'd
to
you say? No,
weaponize
I'm
its
serious.
own labels and
Don't
use
look
them
it up, but
unfairly, not
just trust me.
hesitating to label any opposition.
The queer community has literally talked about disowning MAP over and over and over and over and over and over again. Excuse me. And if I feel like you knew anything about this topic, you would know that MAP, for anyone who doesn't know, it's just a bunch of, it was a, I want to call it a psyop, but basically right-wing psyop developed on 4chan. And it's a bunch of people either pretending to be or actual being like, yeah, we're minor attracted persons and we're part of the queer community. But it started on 4chan, just like fucking everything else. This would be like me getting on 4chan and making up shit and being like, yeah, Asmongold, actually, I know that he murders people. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And he thinks it's good and based. It's like, well, what? No, dude, I swear, I saw it on 4chan. It's real. That's what happened. It's cool. It's cool. So yeah. Were they trying to insert PDF into LGBTQIA? That's wild. I believe it. Yeah. And again, if you ask any queer person, they will tell you, other than the ones that are fucking, they will tell you, no, we do not associate with these. I was going to say, this seems like an extremely online thing, not something you would ever hear about IRL. Yeah, because in general, people talking about it's just not something that comes up, dude.
Yeah. Is transphobic or homophobic. It's funny because we used to be the ones complaining about intolerance. Two girls holding hands in public were at risk of being fucking shot. They couldn't adopt kids, get married, start a family. So I completely understand why we spent so many years fighting for tolerance. But we have it now. And ever since
it's also that
I know like 10,000 gay people in the South just had like one of the Akira moments where they were like, ah.
People want to just be able to be treated equally, right? I mean, I think that that's fair. And also the big problem with like, for example, being able to get married was that the law didn't let you do that. Like, it's very different. Like, you can talk about, like, there are two very big components to this. There's...
You think she actually believes this? 100%.
culture, and then there's the law. Now, obviously, one influences the other and vice versa even, right? But we're really talking about the laws. And if the laws are treating people differently, well, that's definitely not fair.
We've been shown tolerance. We're
so
now
stupid.
the ones refusing.
This is fucking stupid. Changing the law is not enough. You have to change culture. So, oh, look, we changed the law. Women can work. What do you mean now you're upset that we grope you at work? Are you kidding me? How much fairer do you want it to get? Sorry, this is just how it is. It's like, no, dude, culture creates the law, and then the law creates culture, and then culture creates the law, and so on and so forth. There are still lots of ways that queer people are discriminated against in the United States. Is the United States more progressive on queer issues than a lot of other countries? Yeah, of course, but that doesn't mean you just settle. You're like, oh, well, we have it better than some countries, so we're done. No, there's a lot of bias hiring practices. There is... Yeah. There's still violence that happens against queer people in the US. Okay? Like...
Using to reciprocate it. We've now become the side that is intolerant to opposing beliefs. The script has flipped completely, and it's not for the better. See, back in the day when I was a little G rolling up on my Heelys trying to finesse the hoes, I didn't even know what gay was, much less.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, for us, we definitely knew what gay was, but it went from wanting to be treated equal, but wanting to be treated like a protected class. Yeah. Lesbians never faced the same harsh treatment as bi and gay men. Nobody cared about lesbians because guys made it into a fetish. Nobody cared about lesbians because guys made it into a fetish. I think that that's like a very contemporary worldview, and it's probably something that could have been true in the year 1995. But I think it's also a worldview that is primarily like it. I think that if you talk about people that are like, if you like listen to like, 65-year-old lesbians, I think they're probably going to tell you that that's not true. And also it's like
yeah. Also, sorry, I love talking about like, actually lesbians have it great because they're sexualized. When there are literally experienced, sorry, I'm not even going to go that far back. Like within this past decade, there are probably countless lesbians who've experienced violence from men who don't know how to take no for an answer and are consistently getting told, no, man, you just like, you've never had dick like my dick, okay? Which is very special. It's the best one, I swear. Like, fucking... Sorry. Straight white dudes talking about... more specifically, straight cis dudes talking about other people's experiences that they have no reference point for. Meanwhile, you talk to lesbians and they're like, yeah, this dude fucking followed me home. It's like... lesbians are accepted in society, and that's why random dudes will fucking follow you home to try and convince you something. I don't know, man. I don't know.
A matter of like degree. I do think that there's a spectrum of tolerance where most people, like I would say that the majority problem that people have with like LGBT is pretty much the T. I think so. Most people, it seems like, are kind of okay with bi, gay, lesbian, etc. But I think it's really the trans issue that is the most divisive, and the, like, for example,
the trans issue,
non-binary issue that's the most divisive. And I would say that if you look at the amount of like discourse about it, that's where I would say 80 to 90% of it is. It's not on the L, G, or B. It's on the T. At this point, yeah.
That's what trans was. I grew up in this...
No, it's on the bigots, I think. No, I think that's on bigoted people, actually. Yeah, comparing homosexuality to pedophilia is like bigot 101.
South, the deep South,
Ooh.
like frogging, gator hunting,
Ooh.
Confederate flag South. I thought
Thug
LGBT
life.
stood for let's go beer tasting. I didn't know a single gay person in my life, and I didn't
Yeah.
have a phone or any type of social media to be exposed to it either. And yet somehow I looked like this. Yeah,
Right.
that's 7 or 8 year old me, dope slinging and pimping since '01, baby. My idol, if you can't tell, was Rob Deerdeck.
Ooh.
And let me
the
tell you,
skater.
I got made fun of all the time.
Yep.
If only I had $1 for every time someone asked me, "Are you a boy or a girl? Why do you dress like a boy?" I would always
We had the opposite of this. We had a friend of ours, and he looked like a girl, but he was actually a guy. And I remember he got pulled out of the pool one time whenever we were at the public pool, and they thought that he should be wearing a top. And man, they went fucking ballistic because they were crazy, like super, like nutso. And so, oh my God, they got so mad. But boy, yeah.
so pissed off when people would call me gay, faggot, dyke, because at the time,
I was muted. Sometimes I feel like Asmongold just tells stories because he wants to tell the story. It doesn't really have any relation to what we're talking about, and he doesn't actually take the story anywhere. But he just says it. Just for fun. Just says it.
I didn't know that I was gay.
Yeah.
So I would just be standing there like,
What is this?
what the fuck are you even talking about?
Oh
I'm
no,
not-
we had this too. I remember when we learned about the N-word. Everybody in the neighborhood was saying it to each other, and nobody knew what it meant. And this is like this big problem because all the parents in the neighborhood, they're like, well,
Wait, I missed that. Fuck. No.
everybody in we.
even talking about?
Oh
I'm
no,
not-
we had this too. I remember when we learned about the N-word. Everybody in the neighborhood was saying it to each other, and nobody knew what it meant. And this is like this big problem because all the parents in the neighborhood, they're like, well, we've got our kids calling each other the hard R, and they're like 8 years old, but they don't really know what it is. But it's like, so if we explain it to them, it's like, then we've got to explain like the Civil War and racism. It's like, what do we do about this? And I think that like,
Why do people overcomplicate these things? You just tell them, no, it's a bad word and it's really hurtful to other people. And you shouldn't use that word. And you're going to get in a lot of trouble if you use that word. I mean, depending on the age, if they're really young, you just tell them that, dude. What? What? I don't understand.
like a lot of the parents just collectively agreed. They're like, well, this will just blow over. And it basically did. Like everybody was using that word in the neighborhood. Like I'm not even kidding you. Like every sentence had the N-word in it for like 6 months, maybe 3 months.
Do you see what I mean when I say?
WTF, did I just walk into LOL?
Some of the stories he shares, I feel like he's just yapping to yap. He just like doesn't have anywhere that he's gonna take this. He's just excited to share this story about how him and all the other kids in the neighborhood were just screaming the N-word with the hard R. Like, hey, if you guys were curious, I do have a racist origin story. Why? You see why I can't stop watching? It's so funny, dude. Oh my god. Oh, you just kids, this is why you don't say every sentence that comes into your head, okay? Zulu, have you been here the 25 months?
And then we just moved on to another word whenever we were kids. We had no idea about any of it. Yeah, New War, exactly.
Of these things that you're calling me. It wasn't until I was going into high school that I realized, oh shit. I like tits. Everyone around me knew before I knew. The reason I'm telling you this story is so that you're aware that I wasn't acting or pretending or trying to fit a label or any of that bullshit. I never dressed like a boy out of opposition for tradition. I never did it in pursuit of being unique. As cringy as it sounds, I was genuinely just being myself. My interests were never in Barbies or playing house. I wanted to play basketball and build Lego City. I was never constantly in my head thinking, oh, if I do this masculine thing, then this feminine. No. What 8-year-old kid thinks
and I think also, like, it's the people that fixate around that, I think that they turn sexuality into being one-dimensional. Because there's a lot of people that are gay, like, there are feminine lesbians.
Why does he keep doing ad-libs for her? He really is just like, yeah, no, yeah.
It's like, this is one of the good examples of it. Is like, I always see this happen in like media. It happens constantly. Where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna show this is the lesbian character, and you can tell that she's lesbian because she looks and acts like a man. No, there are lesbians that act like girls too. And it's like this form of like, I don't even, it's so obnoxious. Yeah, it's like the butch stuff, exactly. Yeah, and it's like, it's weird because to me, like, I feel like it's so obviously stereotyping, but somehow it's just become more accepted. I've never met a girl I didn't think titties were hot, lesbian or not.
Oh.
Yeah, sure, right? Mostly a Gen Z thing. Yeah, or the short hair. Yeah, there's plenty of girls that are feminine that are lesbian. And it's the same with guys, right? There's plenty of gay guys that, you know, look like, you know, they could be construction workers. It's not like every gay guy, you know, looks like you're, you know, like the average, like, twink, right? But it becomes so caricaturized. And I think it's very patronizing.
That for an 8-year-old kid to be thinking like that.
So this is what I mean, where I say like the tangents don't make any sense to my brain. This chick is talking about how she presented in a way that I think most people would consider like a kid would present if they were gay. And it was like she knew that she was gay before she knew what being gay was. And she obviously presents less feminine, right? And then his point is to say, I'm just so tired of media nowadays that gives gay people such a one-dimensional character. Some lesbians are also hot, sexy women that look like girls and act like girls. It's like, what? Why? What was the point of that? What was the point? Why did you interrupt to say that? I'm so confused.
They either have to be medically neurotic or extremely brainwashed by social media. I didn't have
TikTok. I think also, like, there's the messaging that enjoying masculine things makes you a guy and enjoying feminine things makes you a girl. I think that, like, yeah, clearly there's a trend, but the fixation around kind of trying to tally up the two and see, like, which one are you more of, I feel like that's very unhealthy. Like, as a kid, there were plenty of feminine things that I liked doing, and there were a lot more masculine things.
Like, I want to know one feminine thing. Honestly, the feminine urge. The feminine urge to never move your body or lift anything heavy. That's a pretty femme trait. The feminine urge to allow your body to rot.
Things that I like doing, but I never thought like, oh my God, I can't do this or people are going to think I'm a girl. It's reductive. Yeah, it's just completely reductive.
What? Yeah, the feminine urge to have long hair.
Or Instagram as an 8-year-old kid. Thank God. And I feel genuinely sorry for kids growing up on these platforms, being exposed to all of these attention.
Wait, what is this?
I'm sorry for kids growing up on these.
That's stupid. This is dumb as hell. Listen, I grew up on Tumblr. Okay, peak Tumblr. All right, and they were writing dissertations out there on the craziest shit. shocker, shocker, they didn't trans me. And peak Tumblr was way more insane than this. Way more insane. Okay? Tumblr was medicine. Peak Tumblr was like Wild Wild West. It was so good. It was such a good, oh my god. Brain rot transcends technology? Yeah, it does. Because I was exposed to all of this as well. I was exposed to crazy shit. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter.
Prince, Prince self, Bunny, Bunny self, Blood and Blood self. So I guess they just made that shit up, huh? Yeah, they just went and made that shit up. That's crazy.
Wait till this guy figures out. Wait till this guy finds out about the rest of gender, huh?
Wow.
Platforms being exposed to all of these
Rats pronouns.
You want to sit down?
Oh my god.
attention whoring and degenerate ways of life.
Yeah.
They don't get to see that all the real trans people are discreet.
Like, I mean, I'm sorry. You're not a rat.
But like,
Stop.
here's the thing. Who cares? Rats, rats. We are the rats. This is the thing that I don't understand. Who the fuck gives a shit? Like, I'm sorry, dude. Kids literally do the stupidest shit. Teenagers do the stupidest shit. They believe the stupidest shit. They build their personalities around the stupidest shit. And then guess what? Surprise, surprise. They decide either they do care about it more than they thought that they did, or they don't. The idea that, like, someone would say that they're, like, what is it, bunny self or whatever, and that they're going to go to a trans doctor and they're going to trans them and they're going to give them surgery. It's so ridiculous. It's so fucking ridiculous. The people who do, like, the exactly what we were seeing this is like, I see this shit and I think, yeah. 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 Double standard. Aspen can grow up screaming the N-word at each other, but kids trying to be bunny pronouns is cringe. Mods, you have to VIP that chatter. Okay, it's too good. Oh god. I saw a TikTok video saying someone said that they had rat pronouns, so this means it's real and everyone actually thinks this. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you think your kid is going to get influenced by this and they're going to watch this and they're going to be like, Mom, I am Prince Self, and I want to go get surgery. What do you think is going to happen? What in your brain happens? You think you just go to the trans doctor and they're like, yep, looks Prince to me. All right, surgery it is. One surgery coming right up. Like, no, that's not what happens, okay? It's just DeviantArt cringe, okay? That's what happens. They get excited to do this stuff because they're fucking teenagers and you're like, yeah, it's sick. And then you realize this is kind of silly, actually. I identify as the royal family, let me in. Yeah.
It up, huh? Yeah, they just went and made that shit up. That's crazy. Wow.
Platforms being exposed to all of these attention.
Rats pronouns?
Rats. We are the rats.
Oh my god.
Attention whoring and degenerate ways of life.
Yeah.
They don't get to see that all the real trans people are discreet.
Like, I mean, I'm sorry. You're not a rat. Stop it. I don't think that there's any virtue in playing along with a delusion like that. It's ridiculous. Nobody should take this.
Okay, I'm gonna say something brave, all right? I am going to say something brave, okay? All right? I, personally, as well as, and I'm going to put myself out on a limb here, many other kids at one point or another thought maybe, I could have physics-defying powers, okay? When I was 11, I was like, surely, come on. Magic has to be real. It has to be. And at least some of you in here, when you were plus or minus 3 at 10 years old, 13, 7, whatever, at least once tried. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I still hope it happens. Me too. I'm the next Harry Potter, I swear. Once in chat if you've ever yelled real loud trying to go Super Saiyan. Trying to move stuff with your mind, you're like, dude, it has to be real. Come on. Maybe I'm not bald enough. Let me get the... Anyways. Are they Naruto run to go faster? Yeah. Listen, man, teenagers are going to think stupid shit. I really don't think it's a big deal. And I think unless you can prove that this person identifying as rat or rat self or whatever has caused somebody else to somehow develop extreme mental illness that is not curable and is in fact not just something that just comes and goes, I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care at all. I literally don't care. I'm sorry.
This seriously? It's a mental disorder. They need help. I actually don't think that that in itself is a mental disorder. I think that a lot of people that are like that are just like weird narcissists, or they...
Any day a hot vampire will come into my life and show me eternal living. I'm still waiting. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep waiting for that one my whole life. Oh man. Oh, my neck is so exposed. If only there was an eternal being nearby who was looking for exposed veins. Darn it. No dice.
They have some form of other social, like, problem. And because of that social problem...
Sorry, this is so toxic. Asmon identifies as intelligence, and people allow him to believe that. Live and let live, man.
It manifests itself in this type of behavior. What about furries? Well, I think that the problem is that it's that people want the entire world to conform around it.
You don't know that they're trans because they don't want you to know. They want to blend in as a normal person and live a normal life as their changed gender. They don't want anyone asking their pronouns. They want it to be so obvious that you just assume their gender. That's why they spent...
This is not true. This is like not true. I'm sorry. You can't speak for all trans people. Some trans people, that's what they want. Some trans people want to pass and they would like no one in their life to know that they're trans, and it would make their life easier. Yeah, I've met trans people that are like that are like, I just don't want to deal with those conversations with cis people. I'll deal with them with people that I'm interested in dating, and everyone else, I just don't feel like doing it. And other people are trans and they're very visibly trans and they are happy to tell people that they're trans. By visibly, I mean like they wear like a trans pin, or they tell people that they are, or like, I don't know, some other type of item on them that signifies to other people that they're trans. Some people don't care too much to talk about it. Some people do care to talk about it. And you need the people who want to talk about it, because those are the people who are going to fight the hardest to get you more rights. Like just the idea of trans panic defense existing. I'm sorry, it's the loudest, most vocal part of your group that helps get shit like that removed from I don't know, society, I guess. Some people don't even get to choose to be visibly trans, but those people still deserve to exist. I mean, yeah. I want to pass, but I'm not shy about being trans. Passing is important to me for my own euphoria, but I could care less if other people clock me. That's a good place to be, actually. That is a very good place to be. Because I think that's how I feel about, in general, self-esteem. Like, I don't care, genuinely. I let go of it a very long time ago. Caring how other people... or attempting to please other people, right? Visually. It's just like, nah, dude, I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I'm going to do it for me. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, okay. All right. This girl has a video of her wanting to be religious, but no religion accepting her. What a joke, dude.
Thousands of dollars on corrective surgeries,
Yep.
so that you could look at them and not ask what they are. That's the whole point of
that makes sense, of course.
transition. All of these people you see on social media boasting about their transgenderism are the ones transitioning out of a feeling.
And you can see, even in this video, the problematic element of this is about the trans stuff. It's not about being gay, really. It's about the trans stuff. And
The trans stuff.
that's where I think 90% of these problems come from.
emptiness and need for validation. They're not doing it out of a genuine sense of dysphoria.
Who are you to speak on behalf of trans people and say that trans people are transitioning because they're bored or they need validation? Like, it's so fucking stupid, dude. It's so nonsensical to me. I don't understand.
And discontentment with their body. These days, the members of the LGBT community are all demanding that people acknowledge and accept their often obscure identities. It feels like everyone's desperately grasping at these labels, all in a fight to be unique and interesting. But since when did we become so desperate for...
No. No. Those people are not... I promise you. Here's the thing. Those people are too cringe to ever be doing it for attention. You reach that level of cringe because you don't care how other people perceive you. Notably, not a trans example, or someone who is trans as an example, but do you remember that one video of the lady who's making, or like that person, I guess, who's making lemon bars, and they're doing... It's so obvious that they love, like, super hulag. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Gerblins? Is that? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to find it. I think they're making lemon bars. Yeah. Yes. This type of person, okay? All right. To be very clear, I love this type of person. They are my favorite type of person. I love being around this type of person because they are so unequivocally themselves. Like, they don't care what anyone else thinks, which is why they're allowed to be, or why they can reach such insane levels of cringe. Because they are cringe, but they are free.
We make lemon cake. Prepare the firebox. Sure to wash your disgusting Gerben hands. Lemony. Zest the sour boy. Yeah. Sweet rocks. And now incorporate. Hello? Woo! Lemony snicket. Rectangular prisms. Twice. Seems like a lot, but what do I know? It's so fluffy. Chimkin balloons, but one at a time. Lorp. I should have used a bigger bowl.
Dude, you guys already know my policy. Don't send hate to anyone ever. This person especially, send only love, okay? I can't watch this video. I haven't been able to ever successfully watch it fully. But you can tell they're happier than any of us are, okay? All of us sitting here perceiving ourselves, perceiving as society perceives us. We are not free. We are burdened, okay? They are unburdened by what has been. I can't hate this person. I can only respect them. All right? And it's the same thing with anyone who's getting on fucking TikTok. Sorry, let me put this video here. Getting on TikTok and dressing like an elf or whatever.
These days, the members of...
Dressing like an elf or even just refusing to adhere to beauty standards and saying, actually, no, I'm going to shave my hair. I'm going to get piercings people say they don't like. I'm going to dress how I want to dress. I don't give a fuck. These people have transcended. They don't give a fuck. That's why they do this. Not because the wokeism got to them and convinced them to be trans and whatever the fuck. No. No. They just don't care. They literally don't care what anyone else thinks, and that's why they do what they want to do. Which I think is fucking based, okay? And I think everybody should take a page out of their book and do more of what they want to do. The real Ubermensch, I mean, unironically, yeah. Because I don't know about you guys, but... Oh, was that a bad comment? Thought they were saying, like, based. Unless they weren't saying based.
The LGBT community are all demanding that people acknowledge and accept their often obscure identities. It feels like everyone's
It was a compliment? Okay, that's what I thought too. And then you got timed down. I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the mods are right.
grasping at these labels, all in a fight to be unique and interesting. But since when did we become so desperate for approval and validation? These people...
Well, since people went on the internet, and they need that because they don't get it out of real life. Like, a lot of these people that are like doing this kind of stuff on like TikTok, for example, like, let's just be honest, they're a bunch of ugly, weird-looking weirdos. And I bet they didn't have any friends in high school. They probably don't have a lot of friends in general. It's hard for them to get along with people. And they've probably been disagreeable and annoying their entire life. And this is just the new...
Dude, glass houses! Glass houses! Oh my god!
Permutation of them being annoying. It's not really an ideology for them. It's just them being obnoxious and annoying. And this is their new way of being obnoxious and annoying. That's it.
Sir. Sir.
Like, no eyeballs? I don't know. Or eyebrows, I mean. It's because actual oppression doesn't exist in their society anymore? Yeah.
Guy who thinks racism is over. These people are exaggerating.
I mean, well, the problem is that, like, you do have people that have, like, very, very, like, minor versions of oppression. And I think that there are things that are bad that happen, and I think that sometimes it does happen. There's like systematic stuff, like, for example, like sometimes police officers could be racist or something like that. Definitely it can happen. But the difference is that I feel like in a lot of those cases, everybody pretty much agrees.
Sometimes.
Collectively.
Very minor. Could be.
That's bad. Like, the examples of a lot of like systematic like unfairness, I think that almost everybody is pretty much in agreement, like, yeah, we don't like this. This isn't good.
Look attention hungry and childish. It's like they're desperate for the whole world to accept and integrate their worldview.
Well, it's like, if you look at somebody like this, like, if I see this person, I am thinking...
What is he thinking? What is he thinking, guys? For the Daily Double, guys. When he sees this type of person, what is he thinking?
Of, like, Britney Spears when she shaved off all her hair. A deeply disturbed individual. That needs proper mental help. Like, a normal person doesn't act like this ever. This is crazy.
What are they doing in the video that's insane, by the way? She's just bald? Or they're just bald? And yelling? We don't even know what they're yelling about.
Okay,
Bald.
one wall.
Bald femme-looking person obviously must be mentally unwell. Must be mentally unwell. Man whose roommates are roaches and rats preaching about decency and normalcy. Stop. Stop. Asmon being psychophobic is kind of funny though, yeah.
Baron Harkonnen? Yeah, exactly.
With that
He'd
expectation
be arrested in the UK. Calling someone bald is considered sexual offense there.
is frankly unrealistic and juvenile. My sexuality is not a core part of my identity. I don't purposely flaunt it. I don't expect anyone to respect it. And I sure as hell don't need a stranger's validation for why it's okay. I am the way that I am. Whether you like that or not is absolutely irrelevant to me. I'm not proud of being gay. I think
that there also are...
Show me all of the gay and the trans and the queer people and the lesbians that are talking about how you need to accept us or we'll fucking kill you or some shit. Show it to me, please.
Are a lot of people that are they try to push this kind of stuff because they want to feel good for pushing it. And I think that's what happens with especially people that are like, you know, it's like what I always say, like the upper middle class white women, right? Where it's like always, okay, we're going to help you by doing this very performative version of activism. So, you know, yes, it's going to be in your benefit, but primarily, and the real driver for this action is us being conspicuous about being good people. And I think that's where a lot of it really comes from. You're proud of being heterosexual? Is it, you're right? I mean, I don't really think it's about being proud or not being proud. Like, I think it's just who you are as an individual.
Dude, I fucking reverse the roles. Fucking hate the reverse the roles people. Okay. Now, I know a smaller woman walking down a dark alleyway or train station and being followed by a larger man would be scary. But reverse the roles. Not so scary then, is it? Maybe women are over-exaggerating a little bit in their fear of men, huh? It's like you can't just reverse the role and expect there to be nothing else changing. You just, crazy, I know, but we actually didn't fall out of a coconut tree. We actually didn't fall out of a coconut tree. And we don't live in a vacuum where everything is exactly the same.
It's kind of like, so it's kind of like the idea of people like choosing to be gay.
Also, the people who worry about what other people do with their lives is a horrible way to live. Straight up, 100% agree. Like this entire video has just been like, yeah, I don't have any examples of people being harmed by this, but what if it's happening? Did you think that? Yeah, I don't have any examples of children who have been gayified by a pride parade or any examples of like trans people demanding more than just being treated like a person. But what if it's happening? Then what? Then what, huh? Me finding out the house I'm robbing is Asmongold's.
Gay or not. I've always disliked the idea of that because like the idea that like, oh, you don't choose to be gay. I thought that was stupid because even if you didn't choose to be gay, if you want to suck a dude's dick and you're another dude, you should be able to do that. It shouldn't matter whether you should have the freedom to decide whether it's a choice or not.
The mold's cooking? The mold's cooking?
That's it. It's that simple. So it's very like a lot of this stuff is so weird to me.
Dumb. Because when you think of the word pride, you think of some type of achievement, some accomplishment.
Also, we all agree, right? There's no way Asmon is straight, right? Asmon would suck dick. We agree with this, yeah? He cares too much about, like, these topics, I think. I feel like most straight people I know, their straight opinion is just like, yeah, I like women. Women are fucking hot. What about it? Huh? What the fuck are you talking about? Wokeism? Gender? What? Nah, dude. If I like it, it's a woman because I'm straight. It's very simple. It's not more complicated than that.
Accomplishment, something you worked for. My attraction to women is not something that I chose. I didn't work for it. It's just how I am. Straight people don't flaunt the fact that they're straight. That's just how they are. Do you really think that anyone gives a shit about what genitalia you're attracted to? I genuinely can't think of a more irrelevant detail about your character. I don't give a fuck who you hump. As long as it's not my chick.
I think that there's a bit of that that's
Dies of cringe. Dies of cringe.
True, right? Is that like some guys do feel uncomfortable around guys that are gay.
Wait, what?
But have you tried men?
I actually wish I could.
I mean, how do you know?
I wish I could. I do. Like, imagine you could play Smash Brothers with your boys, and then smash your boys.
You know,
Like, it would be really chill. Like, it would be so fucking badass if I was gay.
Look,
But like, really, no, it
listen.
would be awesome.
Listen. You never know unless you try sometimes, right?
I know, okay? I'm so straight, I could suck a dick and it wouldn't be gay.
Oh. It can work like that?
You take your garbage out, does that make you a garbage man?
He's. I take half of it back, okay, dude? What the fuck does that mean? We're moving on from that. We're moving on. We're moving on from that. Okay.
Gay, because they're just not really used to it. But I think also a lot of the people that have problems, this is a great video, by the way. Like, I never saw this before. I agree with pretty much everything that she's saying. Like, this is true. Sexuality is developed. Well, I think it's probably both, right? I mean, you're going to have a component to this that's like more, that's like more focused and less focused around this. It probably, you know, there's like some nature, some nurture to it.
Don't type this in my chat. Don't, Curtsy, I love you. You cannot type that message in my chat. You cannot type it. You can't type something like that.
So I think
You
that
can't
like
make me think about that, you sick fuck.
to an extent, there can be like life experiences that a person has that alters their sexuality. But I think also you do probably spawn in with a certain degree of sexuality as well. So it's hard to say. YouTube removed this video for hate speech. I appealed, thankfully, and they accepted. The video's back up and it's here to stay. There you go. And this is the problem, is that people like this. The problem is that like an authentic and a genuine conversation about topics like this, it's very hard to have it because you have people that constantly try to like kind of use it as a platform to virtue signal. Like, oh, well, I care about people like this. It's like the right thing to do or something like that. And I think that's the majority issue. How people are so devoid of personality that your sexuality is your only characteristic. I think that there's straight people that do that too.
Guy who has 7,000 messages in Asmongold's chat and only watches Asmongold. Can you believe making this your whole personality?
Like their entire personality is like, you know, their ability to hook up with girls. But I think that like for a lot of people, that ceases to be cool. So basically like the coolness factor for that, like it peaks at like 16. And then I think it's probably about the same. And then like at 25 and like 30, it really kind of goes down a lot, right? Because like a 40-year-old guy that's bragging about that, in a lot of cases, it seems like it's kind of sad. In many, like, you know, this guy doesn't have a family. He's not, you know, like building something. He's not building like any sort of like legacy. He's just hooking up with random girls. So I think that's really what happens. It's very sad. But like if you're doing this at 19 or 16 or like 21, you're going to have people and guys around that same age group that are going to think that's really cool. So I think that's the difference. Yeah, 40-year-old in clubs, yikes. Exactly. Like, how many of you guys have ever been to, like, you know, something like that? And you see people that are clearly very too much, like, they're clearly too old to be there. I see it all the time. Anytime.
You don't leave your house. What are you talking about? You see it all the time. Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Literally lying, dude. I don't understand.
I go to a club or any sort of
When
like.
was the last time you went to a club? Okay, are you using binoculars? Do you have fucking spy footage in these fucking clubs? There's no way. I don't believe it. I literally cannot imagine. I genuinely, I cannot imagine seeing him in a club. What would he do? He'd just stand there. I can't. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Convention like that. Abso-fucking-lutely. It's so weird. Yeah.
Look, even his chat is agreeing with me. You go outside, question mark?
It's a need for validation. I guess so. They're always doing coke. I guess so. I suspect there's a genetic component because me and my brother are bisexual. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's probably like 50 different components to it. It's kind of like everything else with people where there's not like one thing that causes something to happen. It's probably, or any sort of like pathology, there's not like one causal factor. There's like 50 of them. I think that's what would happen the most.
I'm
Yeah, Wincest, chemical imbalance. Maybe you're right, but no, I think that a lot of this is true. I'll read some comments about it on my subreddit here. Very well said. I think many people feel.
God, it's almost over, guys. It's like 2 more minutes.
The same way, but the culture of that community doesn't really favor critical thinking and free speech. Yeah, but like, do you guys see kind of what I'm saying about how I feel like? I think 90%, I'm not even kidding.
These people literally, it's just vibes for them. That's it. It's just vibes. That's the only thing that it is. Straight up, it's just like, I feel like the gays are getting a little uppity. And I know I'm in favor of freedom of speech and expression and all that, but I don't really like it when these people wear these things. Yeah. Now, again, I know I literally look at Middle Eastern countries and say, look at how oppressed these women are. They can't wear a bikini if they wanted to. And then when someone wears a bikini in public, I'm mad about it. It's like, I don't care. You cannot make me care unless you show me. You have to show me who is being harmed, in what way they are being harmed. I don't understand how this is even a question. Yeah, bro, I just trust my gut, and that's how I know it's common sense, obviously.
It probably could even be higher than that. At least 90% of the animosity and problems that people have with, like, let's say the LGBT stuff is about transgender and non-binary and, like, you know, like made up genders and stuff. Like
famously, we killed homophobia in the United States. Yeah, everybody knows this. There are no gay people that are ever born that deal with bad things happening to them. That doesn't happen in the US. We fixed it. Because now the adults can get married, so yeah, we did it.
Like that. That's where I think that most of the actual, like, issues come from. Yeah, exactly. Being gay is almost statistically impossible to be genetic. I have no idea, right? But I'm just saying in general. If you only agree 98% you're phobic, well, I don't know. And some stuff like rad and rat self, well, that's what I was saying before about, like...
Here's the thing, right? The queer community already, like, mostly had a conversation about it. We all went to, you know, the gay meeting. You guys know where it takes place. If you guys are part of the queer community, we saw you guys last weekend. And everyone agreed, oh, the people doing the rat self, prince self, whatever, they're literally harmless. That's not worth talking about. It's not worth talking about. Gay city council meeting, Discord call, yeah. Right after the Antifa meeting, but right before the gay orgy. You guys remember. It's just queer people took a look at the people who were saying blood self, prince self, rat self, and it basically agreed these people are harmless. They're teenagers. Just Let them do whatever the fuck they want. It's not like you can go to a doctor and say that and then they're going to give you like rat therapy or something. It's really not a big deal. This is not worth spending any time or effort on. We'll just move on. Just kids doing kid shit, whatever. And if it makes them happy, whatever, but that really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. Give me the rat hormones. Rats. We are the rats. Neopronoun people who are loud about it are some of the only people keeping trans rights in the conversation also, I feel like. I mean, that's a separate conversation as well, but yeah. Also, yeah, if you went to gender confirming doctor and you said like the rat self stuff, they'd probably forward you to mental health care more likely than anything else. Yeah, precisely. My cat is here and she's loving the stream. Dude, this is the best chat message I've gotten all day. Thank you for telling me that. In fact, I feel like the people who dress up as elves or dress up as vampires or dress up as whatever and call themselves rat self, all that shit, I view it the same way that I view like MAGA dipshits who like make being an American their whole personality and everything has to be in an American flag color and they own all the Donald Trump merch and like their car is like plastered with Donald Trump stickers. Like, do you know the type of person I'm talking about? It's like, that feels the same to me. This is the same thing. You guys just pick different autistic hyperfixations. That's it. This is so, it's hard. It's just so harmless. I don't care how someone does this shit. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's so bizarre to me to try and even make it an issue. It's also so harmless and easy to ignore. If someone's under 25, just ignore it. Kids being kids. The very few who are like 30 plus are still harmless and marginal. No one's getting fired for using rat self pronouns. It's like that one guy, like the Japanese guy who made an outfit, a dog outfit, because he just really wants to be a dog. It's like, dude shows up to his fucking salary man job, works his hours, goes home and pretends to be a dog, dude. Would I do it? No. Do I think it's crazy that he did it and he spent the money that he did? Yes. Do I think that there's any harm there? No, I don't think you can convince someone by showing them enough people dressing up as dogs to want to do that. Dog man, yeah. Japanese guy, dog, costume. This guy.
And finally, you've probably seen this video or something similar all over your timeline. I know I've seen it. We're shaking our heads at this man who decided to spend $14,000 to transform into a dog. So he's still a mammal, y'all, but look at this. Not rolling over, like for real. The man who goes by Toko says the collie costume has helped his dream come true of becoming an animal. You've been an animal, just not that kind of animal. He has been posting videos of the suit, on his YouTube page for about a year.
Same as furries. I have my persona. It's part of my identity and way to express my identity. As long as it doesn't constitute a mental disorder, any kink is fine. Yeah.
But this was his first time going out in public. Let me know what you think about it. Does it look real? This is the part I was waiting on.
It looks real until it has to start moving, I think. Then it looks a little bit scuffed.
The other dogs like, nah, fam.
Who hasn't wanted to be a dog? Excuse you. I want it to be a cat. Way cooler than being a dog. Okay? Sorry. Let's be real for just 2 seconds, okay? Come on. Come on. Jumping like 10 times my height? I'm just saying, there's no game like Stray about a dog. There probably is, but I want it to be a goldfish. Okay, I don't want to be mean. That's crazy that you want it to be a goldfish, okay? That's like saying white bread is your favorite bread. Sorry. You can make one mean comment about me, okay? I give you permission. You can make one mean comment about me. It's just like a goldfish. You can be toxic to me. You can be all of you guys can be toxic to me, to be honest. Listen, the way that I see it, if I can bully you guys can bully me.
This don't look right. Use that hashtag I am
Use the hashtag, guys. When you go out in public in your ridiculous kink fetish suit, you're making other people who, by definition, cannot consent a part of your kink and fetish play. It's gross. You're talking about this guy in his dog costume? So, like, this goes back to just, like, it doesn't matter. Like, this guy in a fucking dog costume doesn't matter. Maybe this is just... I think this just happens if you have spent enough time in New York. I feel like I've seen, like, 100 crazier things on a subway, on like a New York subway, and I'm like, who the fuck gives a shit? Who cares? I don't care. This is whatever, dude. People are very weird, okay? Just they're gonna be weird. You can't stop them from being weird, man. I also think it's funny as shit and it makes the world more interesting, okay? When did being weird become outlawed? I don't fucking know, dude. I don't fucking know. They're not even hurting anyone. If there was, which brings me back to my original conversation. If you can show me harm, I will be on board with adding protections to prevent harm. But there's never anyone showing harm. There's just people being like, I'm concerned about this. I'm concerned about this. I went to, dude, fucking going to Times Square as a kid when they made a nudity legal, like nipples legal. Nipples are totally legal. Doesn't matter what type of nipples you got, you're allowed to just throw them out there in the world. And well, in New York City anyways. Going to New York City as a kid and seeing women, they're like dressed in American flag type of stuff with like red, white, and blue everywhere. Straight up, totally naked, huge breasts, very, very cool stuff happening in New York. Wearing thongs. In high heels with like feathers and like all crazy types of shit. Like basically wearing close to nothing. Like one tiny triangle right here. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Guess what? I wasn't traumatized by that. Guess what? I didn't see that and think, oh, I'm never going to be able to unpack this in therapy. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And people need to seriously get over it. People need to get over, unless someone is explicitly doing something sexual in a very public location, specifically towards children, although not towards children as well, and it has caused harm, sure, we can legislate and make that safer. Or we can build legislation to make a city or a state or whatever safer. In Spain, being topless is so normal on every beach. People don't lose their shit. It's super normal. We have a ton of nudist beaches. Totally normal. I honestly think that USA brain rot is... This is mostly USA brain rot. Americans are so nudity brain rotted. Americans are so afraid of nudity. It's like... It's very sad, actually. Yeah, sad. It's because of the puritanical origins, yeah. And so it's so sad. It's like it's just some fucking boobs, dude. It's just an ass. It's just a dick. It really doesn't matter. Now, if you're cranking it in public, yeah, you're a fucking freak and you should be on a list. But if you're not cranking it, you're just trying to chill, dude. Like, there's also no research showing that nudity is inherently harmful for children. That there is no evidence to suggest that children seeing, for example, a diagram of a naked body or going to a nude beach and seeing nudity. There is no information that we have that suggests that that would cause trauma in a child. And yet here we are in America. People are fucking freaks, dude. I'm not afraid of nudity, but I'm not normal about it either. What do we do about that? I mean, I just assume exposure therapy fixes everything. Or, like, exposure therapy fixes a lot of things. Like there's probably like
It's more impacting when it's seen as this forbidden thing that literally everyone has.
yeah. There's probably regardless of where you are, there's probably nude saunas or spas or something that you can go to. Or maybe even where you live there might be a beach, but I personally like to go to saunas and get naked. I mean, it's the sauna is nudity. It's a nudity sauna. I'm not just getting naked and flashing people, but it's a sauna, and there's lots of other women there that are naked, and I fucking man, I want to be naked. What? If everybody else is being naked, I'm down. I'm down to not be restricted by clothes. Fuck yeah. And when everyone's naked, nobody gives a shit that someone else is naked. You're just a bunch of naked people hanging out. Just chilling in the sauna, trying to get sweaty. When everyone is naked, no one will be. Yeah. Most saunas require swimsuits for hygiene reasons. Not the ones that I've been to. Not the ones I've been to. I mean, generally you want to put like a towel on the seat that you're going to sit on, but like I feel like that one's more a you thing. Not the I don't know, not the Korean spas that I've been to. They're pretty nice. Most I've seen is like requiring towels when you when you sit, but also you kind of want to do that because the seat's hot as fuck. You don't want to put your bare skin on that. It's way too hot.
Like made up genders and stuff like that. Transition as a child is where a lot of people get upset. Yes, but transitioning as a child is derivative of
okay.
Trans. Like, you're not going to transition to being gay, right? You don't need to take hormones for that. You're just gay. So that's the whole point that I'm making. There's no such thing as a gay rat.
What? What was that, a chat message that you read? Who said there's no such thing as a gay rat? What was that? I don't understand. In Swedish? Sorry, I'm Swedish. Sauna is Finnish, but you're not allowed to wear swimwear to the sauna. It's almost forbidden. Dude, I'm so jealous of like Europeans that get to live in places that nudity isn't this like fucking taboo thing that everyone's afraid of. I'm so jealous, dude. You're living well. If you live in an area that it's just normal, oh, it's living so well. Anyways.
That's not true. It's actually not true. Yeah, it's just, it's not true. So there's actually been a lot of studies that have been done, and these studies were done, like, basically, you're looking at, yeah, did you ask it? Well, no, basically, so this is a very popular study that was done with a lot of rats, and whenever you have so much of a overpopulation of an area, you have a lot of, like, different antisocial and non-normative behaviors that occur. Like, for example, you know, the rats, like, not wanting to, like, have a mate, or the rats, like, being homosexual or something like that. And this is observed in a number of different studies that it's happened that have been, you know, conducted over the years.
This is so nonsensical. It's crazy. It's actually insane. This is so incorrect. It's crazy. Most social scientists, their explanation for basically homosexuality and why it exists, because obviously if you have any animal in the animal kingdom that has male and female animals, right? You would want evolutionarily to have these people attracted to animals of the opposite sex to continue to reproduce. Yes, everybody knows this. The same thing should apply to human beings. Human beings should be attracted to the opposite sex because it helps, you know, repopulation and continuing the human race, right? But first of all, that's only from the lens of continuing the existence of human beings, especially human beings that are not sentient. So like more like cavemen, honestly. But also, if you look at most social scientists and the way that they view homosexuality and why it exists, despite us having like this like moral imperative to repopulate, most social scientists recognize that sex is more than just reproduction. Sex is also something that people do for pleasure. People also do it to connect to other people, to become closer to other people, and for the social aspect. And so, if anything, it's less of a mystery why bisexual people exist, right? Because it makes sense. Having sex is something that can be a bonding activity, and it's a way that you can get closer with someone. It makes sense that gay people have been around for forever because you have a natural desire to connect and get closer to other people around you, especially those you like. Some of those people sometimes will be not the opposite sex. But because we're such social creatures, because we're such social creatures and because we can bond basically infinitely with people, other animals, and like fucking objects, it's not crazy to recognize that social creatures will want to bond in different ways with as many people as they can. We evolve these brains to manage complex social relations. I mean, language as a concept is insane on its own, right? Just insane on its own. I mean, ancient Romans literally thought men's gay sex was the only intimate sex and heterosex was just for baby making, which also seems like kind of almost intuitive, or it makes sense how they came to that conclusion, right? It's like, well, I'm not having this gay sex for any other reason except because I want to have this gay sex, right? Which I can understand how you would be like, yeah, gay sex is the real sex. Real men have sex with other real men, right? Anyways, yeah. Human beings want to bond. Sex is a method that you can bond with other people or things, or like not, well, you can't have sex with things, really. You know what I mean? People. Most manly thing you can do is fuck another man. Well, can you? Well, you could technically have sex with things. I mean, Vance has sex with his couches. So, never mind, actually. You can have sex with things, okay? Vance proved it. Anyways. To say that like gays emerge as a function of to show that a society has become too overpopulated and is now becoming more antisocial is so wrong. It's like so wrong. It's so obviously wrong.
Rat Utopia, the Mouse Utopia YouTube videos? Yeah, exactly. And so it's extremely popular. Oh, and by the way, the end, the happy ending for the overpopulation of the rats is they all died. Yeah, they all died. And so that was, kind of not so good. But, that's how it is.
These videos, man. These videos. These videos are so crazy, man. These videos are insane, man. Hear me out, guys. One second. People are not rats, actually. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. I just don't get it. I just don't fucking understand. What is this black stuff growing on my walls all of a sudden? Overpopulation of humans is fascist Malthusian propaganda. At current production levels, we can feed 10 to 11 billion people. No, anyone who tells you about overpopulation, I saw like a tweet once that said like, what's your biggest tell that someone's a total dumb fuck? And that's like the biggest one. Someone talking about overpopulation. Anytime anyone seriously indulges the idea of overpopulation, it's like, it's crazy how, it's insane how you have no understanding of this at all, actually. And yes, D. Middleton, precisely. The only time I think about overpopulation is when I'm driving on the freeway. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. A much bigger problem from instead of overpopulation, a way bigger problem is actually climate change making farming unsustainable long term. That is a much bigger concern. That farming will become too difficult when our environment becomes more inhospitable. That's a way bigger, but that's not overpopulation. That's not that's not that we have too many people. It's that we are not taking care of the things that we need that currently exist that we take for granted, right? This is already happening. Oh yeah, I'm saying it's gonna. Right now, we still have like how many tons of food waste, like per minute. Currently, we have an excess of food that we literally just fucking throw out. But enough time passes and we do absolutely nothing to protect our resources, and crops will be way more difficult to take care of. Way more difficult to take care of. And then you won't have as much food production, and then you have concerns. If not solved. We need to frack, baby. Frack! Oh, yeah. 92% of Americans own a car. Ugh. It's fucking disgusting, dude. Stores throw out so much fucking food and they don't even give it away or sell it for cheap. Yeah.